So, welcome to episode 3 of the Kill Box. We got we're up to 5 hosts today because us piled together all of the War Machine players that's at the store. So,
there would be more. We can't fit anymore.
Oh yeah, my wife's over here. She's afraid of the camera. But today we have Joe. So, Joe, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Legion. I kill stuff with Angelii, which solves all of our problems. Oh, and I bake.
You bake.
No, not the fun kind of baking.
And I bake things.
Okay, to be specific, not the fun kind of baking.
Yeah, how'd you get into the game?
My ex, he was like, hey, I want to start playing again, but I don't want to play Legion. And I'm like, well, let me look into it. And basically I got like 100 points of Legion right off the bat for free. And they were a mix of dragons and sharks, and I liked the look. So I stayed with it, and he decided to become a dirty hippie. I mean, circle. So, yeah, and that's about it. I got shit. I don't know, probably squeak out 200 points now if I needed to.
Did you start off with War Machine, or did you start with the 40k?
Well, I kind of did 40k for a little bit, and then they made my army unplayable. And then did fantasy for a little bit, and then I got tired of playing Yahtzee. And then started the Hordes and War Machine, which the rules are pretty simple, plenty self-explanatory, and there's not many of them that make you scratch your head and want to punch someone in the throat.
You're a violent person.
Hey, death by Angelius, you have to be a little violent.
Well, alright then. Well, okay then. Okay, let's go over some of the upcoming events that we got here in the North Carolina area. This month, starting on the 17th, is XCon. That's down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There's going to be a Carolina qualifier there. It's kind of like our Mayhem Cup, sort of. We started that last year. Starts on the 17th, runs to the 19th. Then we got Lock and Load starting on the 31st.
Which is
not
even
which is not around here, but that's kind of a big deal. Let's see if I can load up. And then June, we got a 50-point steamroller. Looks like. I should print this next time. Starting in Raleigh, June 15th. 3 lists required. $10 entry fee.
Prize.
Prize support to be dated. It will be epic though, trust me.
To be determined.
To be determined. I'm sorry.
You're gonna take it out for dinner first.
I'm really tired again today.
Ah!
Oh, Trophy, I'm so proud of you.
That's why I don't play baseball.
Little Trophy.
That's why I roll dice.
Okay, then on the 22nd of June, we have a 50-point qualifier also for the Carolina Cup, I guess. I think it's Carolina something. I think it's like a cup. But it's from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Where is it?
It's on Planet Comics in Anderson.
Oh,
It's a nice place.
$15 entry fee. 3 lists required. Divide and conquer with specialists. Very interesting.
let's do it.
Death clock.
What point?
50 point.
50.3 list. Oh,
50
Jesus
point
Christ.
list.
Jesus.
That's hardcore right there.
I like that.
Looks like also the qualifier will receive a free pass to Mace, which is in November, and a Planet Comics t-shirt. Hooray for t-shirts.
Is it Iron Grudge or Iron Gauntlet or whatever?
No. No. Then on the 29th, we have a 35-point skirmish level. It is also a qualifier. 2 lists required, divide and conquer. It's Death Clock, $15 entry fee. It is in Matthews, North Carolina, at your local game store is the name of the store.
Your local game store.
Starts at 10:30, runs to 11 p.m. So I guess they're expecting quite a few people.
Nice. Cool.
All right. So let's go over what we done this weekend, which was Geek Out.
Mention the Tennessee folks first.
Oh yeah. Starting probably in the next couple of months, myself and Tom are going to be running events in Johnson City. And we're running a couple events up there. So any Tennessee players that want to get some, maybe we can order a coin kit or something, maybe get a hold of somebody. We're going to be starting to run some events up there every now and then. So I know you guys don't have very much press gang support. We're trying to reach out and get you guys some support and maybe get you guys a press ganger as well. So look for us in the Johnson City area sometime in the upcoming months, definitely. So let's talk about Geek Out. Yay! Ugh.
Sploosh.
The War Machine part of Geek Out was great. So let's start with that. Matt, you wanna?
It's a smaller turnout than I thought we would get.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but that's okay. We had a couple players, a couple new guys that I never met before. One was from Johnson
One from
City.
Johnson City.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Merc player. Wait, what do we want to talk about?
I don't know. Let's talk about our rounds. Let's just talk about our rounds. Start
First
off.
round was against a boy, my Crick's boy here, and his stupid E asphyxious bullshit.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, it was an alright game. Pretty one-sided. I could have had it. I could have won. Hindsight's 20/20. I could have won so easy, because he had his caster up front within charge range of Getorix, but I couldn't charge him. But I could have primal Getorix and just trampled up there and bought 3 Mat 9 dice +5 hits.
I was wondering why you didn't just walk him up there.
I don't know. I once she said I couldn't charge him, that was my plan, and I just my brain just cut off, and I kind of. Yeah.
But now you know for next time.
That
was my fault.
Joe.
And then he feet turned and killed Getorix and Megalith.
Ugh.
It was just his fucking feet. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it was a pretty one-sided game, to be honest.
Me and Tom press gang the event, so we don't really have anything to talk
Yeah,
about
we were
too
expecting
much.
12, 15 players. And
Yeah.
ended up
We
being
had 7.
Because of mismanagement of con officials and no one, advertising the con but myself. Really?
No one knew where we were either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Oh.
5 people showed up and just couldn't find the place.
Yeah,
It's
there was
true.
no signs or anything.
Nothing.
We had to get notebook paper, and the one guy in the group that writes like a 5-year-old wrote signs.
I'm surprised he could even write spells for War Machine. Justin.
Aww.
Call him out by name.
Oh, not cool.
Oh,
Oh,
that's harsh.
that's cold.
He's gonna come in here,
cold-blooded.
yell at you, and then fall asleep in his car.
That's right. Should you want to do your round 2 since we know what your round 1
my
was?
round 2 was goodbye.
That was my round 2. That was my round 1. My round 2 was against one of the players from South Carolina. His name was Chris. Only reason I remember it is because his name was Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Extremely
Chris is
important.
great.
He's an awesome guy.
He's a great
Yeah,
guy.
He's
he
awesome
he
guy.
always comes to our events
Yeah,
whenever
he loves
there's-
them. He loves
Yeah.
He was playing Pirates, and I whipped out my my P-Scar list with the Kraken in it, and the Kraken face-tanked two jacks during the feat turn, but that's what the feat turn does. We both had a little problems with the time clock. We both failed to activate a lot of stuff during the timers, and my Kraken didn't really do a lot of work. It just kind of absorbed some damage.
Yeah, he kind of chilled in the back there.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I didn't get to charge him on my feet turn.
Oh yeah.
I moved him up the first turn, and then on my feet turn, as soon as I was declaring a charge, the extended time went off, and I was like, ugh. But it was a really close game. We jammed up really hard, and I won on 3rd tiebreaker,
Ugh.
which was awful.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
That's true. So, our round 3 is a little weird because our
There was just one game.
we had 2 undefeateds, but our second undefeated dropped.
He had to
His
leave.
wife showed up and
Yeah. So Zach became first place, but they still had to play It was in the middle of the round, so you
me and Chris played a game. It was a great game, I thought. I was playing Ikaya versus his pirates, same pirate list. He wound up winning on. Well, we ran out of time. I was about to go for the assassination that last turn there, but time ran out on the clock. It was just a slugfest the whole game. I don't know what else to say about it.
Wow,
Great
it's a great topic for. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the con in general. Okay, it was probably the largest mismanaged garbage con I've ever been to in my life. Our store owner was like, "Yep," but I don't know what they done. Like, I was moved.
So you got there at 6:30 a.m.
I got there. I was here at 6:30. I got there about 8, and I set up in a room because they told me to. First, they didn't know what room for me to set up in, so I was like, okay. So I finally got a hold of one of the officials. He showed me a room, and I set up in the room after moving large amounts of our slats. Put all the slats on the table, and then they're like, "Nope, not your room." So I had to tear everything down, and then they was going to give me tables on the floor, which I'm glad we didn't go to the floor because I was having concerts like the whole damn day.
Yeah.
That would have been horrendous.
Horrible white people rap.
Really, really bad. Really bad.
God, that's still around.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
the thing.
It was
I'm
bad.
kind of glad I missed it to bake crappy little food cake.
It was bad. But then they gave me a room, which thankfully had like 4x4 tables that's already in the room that were all wobbly that we had to fix too. We had to like jury rig those. But I don't know.
It was back in the corner.
It was back in the corner. It was a terrible place because we had like no foot traffic, and the people that did get like end up going to there was wanting our room. They just wanted it for themselves.
Yeah.
What time are you guys done?
Yeah, when are you leaving?
I don't know.
Also, the con closed at like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
6.
kind of weird.
6.
6, that's when most, us people are getting up.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Tom? What's your thoughts?
It could have been done much better. They dedicated a lot of floor space to merchants while they had this
Bad
huge
artists
racetrack.
is the
Yeah.
the correct way to say it.
They had this huge racetrack. It's a stadium, so they had this, I don't know, 700-800 feet of track around it that you could drive a bus through that they didn't utilize. I mean, most of it was empty except for a few spots where like the SCA set up, our owner set up, another magic shop set up, and then all the other merchants were downstairs or in the middle of the stadium. So I feel like if they had put all the merchants in the ring, because they're going to get foot traffic, people are going to see merchants, they would have had space for us, they would have had space for the LARPers, they would have had space for their weird rap music.
It was really bad.
There would have been a lot better space if it had been managed better. And it was
just
bad.
It was just piss poor.
Yeah.
Like if I was going to give it like any sort of numeral value, I'd give it like a pineapple in the ass.
So Hitler's punishment in hell?
Yeah, that's what I'd give it.
For those
if
of you
was,
who are not familiar with that scale, it's a -2.
Yeah, like if you was of things that you want to wipe your ass with, a pineapple in the ass is what I'd give that. The worst would be molten lava. That would be the worst.
It wasn't quite as bad because it did have pretty cool guests.
Yeah, the guests
Yeah.
were fine.
Pam and Krieger were awesome. They were awesome.
I was kind of kicking myself.
That
I
is
didn't
the
go
one
see
thing
him
I was
after that.
sad I missed because first tattoo is Pam riding a dolphin with the word sploosh under it. Saving up for it now.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, guests were great.
Yeah.
But are you farting?
No.
That's not
When he
me.
farts, he just goes,
Dude, no. I'm not sinking my cast this low, this early today. Okay. It's usually we
Seriously,
start.
I've never had to work this hard to be the most perverted person in a room.
you're letting yourself up for that one.
Anyway, moving on.
Y'all are terrible people.
So, Yeah, that was that was the con. That was the con.
Yeah, it was disappointing. It could be a
The War
really,
Machine
really
was
good
fun.
con.
War Machine great, con, but
Yeah.
like all the fun was in the War Machine room.
Yeah.
And the crazy chick yelling at like random
Yeah, she
things.
was telling a story or something, and like it was.
Oh man, yeah, it was a story for children
And the
that
kids
was
were like,
absolutely
"Yeah!"
terrifying. So you're just like, "Oh, are you having fun, little kids?" They're just like,
Absolutely. Don't hit me.
"Please don't hit me."
Ah!
This was the only con experience I've had that wasn't Gen Con. So
Okay.
This is
a big
I've never
letdown.
been to a con
I've been
before.
to 5 or 6 cons. And
There were some decent costumes.
Con Carolina
Yeah, Cons
is a
was
good
great.
con that's
Cons
local to
was
this
great.
area that I think we should pursue.
yeah.
I know the lady who organizes it. She's awesome.
You gonna let her hang out with y'all for a while then?
And there's the wife on the phone.
Yep. There he goes. So let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about factions. Like getting into the game. If you're used to other games, what kind of faction should you choose? You know, or maybe like when you're choosing your second faction, what should your second faction be? Should you play to your strengths, or should you play to like if you just didn't like your first faction, you know, what should your next faction? What should be your next venture?
Well, from the original question, going into the game, I think if you're a Warhammer or a 40k player, the biggest thing to get used to is shooting is not as effective as it is in 40k. You cannot blow things off the table like in 40k.
You can, but
Well,
not from the ranges.
In a limited aspect, yes, it's
you
effective.
cannot leaf blower.
Yeah, there's no leaf blower lists. So relying on range stuff and just sitting back.
There is one. It's with Signar.
Well,
I fought it before.
there's always an exception to the rule, but as a general principle, you are not going to be just blowing things off the
It's
table.
true. You don't see like circle gun lining. You
No.
know.
I did play a Moshar gun line the other day, and it was really good.
We'll talk about that. in a little bit
Okay.
then, 'cause that sounds
do it.
kind of interesting. So what about you, Matt? Like, what do you think?
I don't know. The two factions I play are polar opposites. You got Circle. It's for if you like playing high mobility.
Street magicians.
Yeah, street magician. That's funny. High mobility,
They're always popping out of trees and shit. Come on, it's exactly what you
and
guys
then I
are.
also play pigs, which are basically like not mobile.
But you cast mobility every turn.
And batten down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches, mobility every turn, pretty much. But that's with one caster. I mean, the beasts are speed 4. They're basically Khador jacks. They
Right.
play a lot like Khador, I think, only with a lot less options.
Yeah, they do.
It's a growing faction, though.
It is. I
Yeah.
wish it'd grow a little faster.
Well, it's because like a lot of people said they consider minions as a whole one faction. They don't consider both halves as a
Of course.
faction.
Yeah.
You know.
Hopefully eventually.
And then they put out a goblin which helps none of you.
Yeah.
We can't use.
I would love to see
But he has a
a
fancy
battle
hat.
engine or a character war beast or
Yeah, a
something.
character
Come
war
on.
beast. I think it's time for a character war beast for minions. I do.
They really need an arc node, and
You're
that
not getting
make
a
all the
port node.
difference. Yes, it will happen eventually. It has to.
I could see an epic Arcadius with an arc node.
I think the only way that they could do an arc node effectively is to have some sort of like unit that has an Oculus top weapon
Like
to
Veil.
make something
Or-
an arc node for a turn.
Like a character jack
Arcadius.
for Arcadius is just like a pig with a Signar jack tied to it that he just arc nodes through.
Hey, he's more
Carrying
sophisticated
a
than
bone
that.
chicken or something.
Yeah.
He'd use duct tape.
How do you catch it?
I don't know. Joe, you're thinking of branching off into a new faction pretty recently, right?
Yeah, when I started, it was even though I was basically gifted a pretty sizable force of Legion, I still almost went Kriegs because I also play Dungeons and Dragons and other games like that, and yet Necromancy is generally my go-to, and you look at Kriegs, which is kind of a Necromancer wet dream. It really is. But right now, I don't know, Legion, it's really awesome to just demolish it when I hit it, but I really don't like having wet tissue paper for armor. But so.
You're gonna get wet tissue paper for armor for
Yeah,
Griggs,
Griggs,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
gonna get any better.
Like now that I've
Pal 12
played,
can take out.
now that I've played
Yeah.
more, I'm not sure if I still want to go to Cricks. Like thematically, I like them. I like most
Great
of their
models.
look.
Yeah.
Death Jack. But I've been maybe going Signar, but not for the twin Stormwall E Haley shenanigans. Like I'm kind of known. I play some of the least played casters. Like out here, I mean, I broke out Bethane on this guy who had never seen
That
her.
was really fun.
Never seen her.
And I'm thinking of running Nemo because, you know, I like yelling unlimited power and pretending I'm Palpatine.
Yeah, I like the Nemos. They're all fun.
You know, I'm definitely thinking about checking out Convergence, but really, when I do it, I look for something that I go, hey, that sounds fun. I mean, the Ethag Shredder Swarm, I think everyone here has faced it at some point, and they hate it. But I have fun with it, and everyone's had fun with it, so it's kind of how I play. I don't take it too seriously.
So you didn't jump into the game, like, you didn't buy into Legion.
No, he was given.
You were given a bunch of Legion.
And I like the way they play. Like
Oh,
one
okay.
thing I recommend.
That's
if
a
if
totally
yeah.
different thing from
Yeah.
the rest of us.
Yeah,
then.
one thing I really recommend, if you got friends that get multiple things, or you get the, what's your little app thing that's got all the cards and stats on it?
War Room.
Yeah, get War Room, run proxy games, find out what you like before you start sinking the money
Warning
into
for War
it.
Room, it crashes all the time.
Or
if you run on Apple.
Apple's good.
I don't have a
Or,
My
you know.
tablet runs it fine.
It runs it fine while I'm using it. It's just
Oh, if you try
when
to
I
open
try to
something
open it,
else.
it's like War Room is stop for
Oh
stop.
yeah, that's only on Androids though, because it.
Yeah, and then on my
Well,
iPhone, it just
unlike
likes
these
to go,
rich folks with their
"Ah."
fancy technology,
Fancy
I'm-
pants technologies.
I'm still old school and have
Forward
printed out
Commander.
PDFs, so
Forward Commander.
which is awesome. I actually kind of use
It's
that
completely
myself.
free. Oh, Bodger.
Bodger.
Well, I miss Bodger.
I know.
I never got it.
That's how I view it.
What about you, Zach? What do you? Because I know you jumped into Scorn over the past few months. Even though you kind of faction whore around a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
it is.
Loosest of the faction wars.
I like
Yeah,
all
even
the factions,
Simon.
honestly.
Simon's
The
another story.
thing is, I think that every one of the factions is super neat, and I would like to play all of the factions. It's just I tend to bounce from faction to faction. I'm currently sticking with Scorn and Crix at the moment, mostly because the majority of my Crix is painted, and I like playing painted stuff. And Scorn, I like bronze packs a lot.
Yeah.
Hell,
And the
I
mana
like
looks
bronze
super
backs.
goddamn good.
Tiberian.
Givers.
Really good. So I got into Kador strictly for like the theme. Like I always liked the giant thick armor, and I like Russians. That's what I like. You know, like Red Alert. Play some Russians.
Soviets.
The-
That's
Kinda
the way you do
Cossack,
it.
So.
The first.
You kind of look like a Cossack.
I do. Yeah.
The first faction I got was actually Menoth, because at the time I was still playing Space Marines. And they were the most similar theme-wise to the Space Marines, which are like Space Catholics versus regular Catholics.
Well, regular
Sure.
Catholics with fire magic, whatever.
Yeah, but
You don't know the Necronomicon?
But you vary. Like your two main factions are Crix and
Yeah, every
Scorn.
once in a while I like to bring, I've got Trolls, because I like the look of Trolls. Medium bases are really hard to learn on. So.
That's true.
I know you have the Signar battle box.
I've got Signar Battle Box. I was going to build Signar, but I ended up really, really liking Zol a lot, and I love Zol. And I also like
All hail Zol.
Sultan. But I also like Mordekar because of his freaking Essence Blast shenanigans. It's super fun.
Yeah, like I said, I started with Kador. I got into it for the Jacks, and I stayed for the infantry. And then I branched out to Mercs, cause you know when you have Kador, you're like, oh, I got these Mercs, I can work with my Kador. So I played around with some Magnus and had a little fun with that. Then I'm like, hey, these Mercs will work for Signar. So then I bought them some Signar, and I kind of like whatever models I buy. I like them to be used with other factions, because then
Makes sense.
I can double up on my uses of them. It goes down to the painting that gets me there. Do I want my Gorman to be red or do I want him to be blue? Kind of
He's going to be yellow.
He's going yellow.
Bumblebee Gordon.
Oh, that would be fun. I'm not doing pink and with polka dots. I was thinking of it.
I had one
Dude, no.
later.
Clearly you tie-dye him.
Ah, that'd be fun too. That'd be good.
Be interesting to do
We
tie-dye.
have.
Hey!
Ah, we got a Ted.
Hey, we got room for one more in here, right?
Oh God.
You really get snug.
So, I don't know.
Like, as far as switching to new factions, I know it's just, you gotta know the factions and their play styles. How'd you get here?
That's a tight circle.
It is.
I think we can fit two
That's
more.
what she's. Ah, damn it! Oh no!
Yeah.
Out of the camera,
All we're
Dick.
looking at is your ball sack now.
Go. God damn it. So yeah.
Skipping over me? Just keep
Oh
fucking myself.
well, you know, you rage quit it on your
Yeah.
faction. So
I know.
I love Ret. Show them for nothing.
I love Retribution, but I wanted to be competitive, so I switched factions.
yeah.
It's
In
not
other
rage
words,
quitting,
they're
I
too
was
hard for us.
realistic
What made you
play.
get into
bullshit?
Like,
You have fun trying to play Ret.
If I would have bought them from you,
what'd you get in Ret for though? Like,
I initially wanted to go K-Dork because I liked the look and everything of it, but I played Space Marines, Blood Angels, and I was sick of painting red. Everything was red. So I was like, I'm not going to buy K-Dorks. That's literally the only reason I didn't go to K-Dork, was I was tired of painting red.
no, you don't have to paint the red.
I know, but I like to paint the studio scheme. Yeah, so I got picked up red that looked interesting. That looked like a nice little finesse thing, which is that's kind of how I play. I like to do the whole surgical strike type thing. That's why I played Blood Angels, because you're deep striking in, and it's for my background with 82nd, it really makes sense.
Well,
with all
and
that.
you played Space Marines and you were basically handed the game 90% of the time.
Are too big.
Sometimes. That's playing tap. Then you're fucked. Or
These
not.
just random
But anyway,
words I don't understand.
I really liked Ret, just the fact that it
we're
was
the only ones without that
a
background.
glass cannon type of, like, you had to be right or else it was going to go horribly for you.
That's true. It's a very.
I would love to play red.
They're a very fun faction to play,
Huh?
but like I said last week, I just don't feel that they're competitive yet. They can't hold their own quite as well as other factions can. Not saying that they are uncompetitive. It just, I think it's my play style doesn't quite suit it. I don't know, but
I think they're competitive. I mean, they are missing. They have very big holes in their faction for one of the big factions.
What I've noticed,
Yeah,
I've
virus.
played Ret once, and what I've heard and seen is they have a lot of stuff to say. Oh, you're a warcaster? Well, I'm going to fuck you. But they have lots of issues with hordes, from what I've
yeah,
heard.
which our meta is 90% hordes, which is kind of
No,
frustrating.
it's really not. How would
Yeah, it
you
is.
figure?
Hordes. Not hordes, and not hordes.
You can't count him as hordes. He plays more War Machine than
Like,
He
he's
plays circle.
All the time.
and
a
Ret
circle player.
and
And Ret.
Mercs.
And I bought all the red. It was great.
But anyway, it was that was another thing.
we
Our
already
meta
had
kind of
Our
The-
meta
well over
fluctuates.
half
We
the
had a shift.
games I played was
Retribution.
Well, let's see.
nice.
Nice.
Oh my
Nice!
God!
Holy fuck, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's my buddy's Kickstarter company thing.
Sweet.
That is so
Really?
fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Here, if you can put it in front of the camera.
Yeah, he's just hanging out here. He's our guest star today.
We got guest star Hyperion.
It's
Yeah.
poweredplaygaming.net.
Oh, okay.
Power
Power
play.
play.
Poweredplaygaming.net.
Today's
Powered-
video is sponsored by poweredplaygaming.net for all
That's
of your
really
LED uses.
That's
I
really
demand a check after I say this.
That's cool.
we will also accept large amounts of food.
or these lights, because they're kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the ends glowing too.
So,
Is that the
yeah.
laser?
So your next
So,
faction that you switched to,
I started playing Gators. Gators looked like a lot of fun. Apparently, I have a bad habit of picking factions that don't have a lot of models.
Well,
Hey,
you
but at
should've
least they're
known
not
that
red.
when
Yeah.
You started buying them.
I really enjoy playing Gators because they're goofy. They're really goofy to play. Like you're just throwing stuff, and it's like, man, I really hope I can charge next turn. I'm just gonna throw this thing up the field, and oh, I just did 8 points of damage to it. Damn it. Oh well. Like it's a very fun. Like when I'm just not being serious and just playing for fun, I play Gators because it's just
The
it's
game
so
we
much
had
fun
was,
to play.
was pretty serious there for a while.
But again,
We
it's
just barely
very
pulled
fun.
off that victory.
They're a silly faction.
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
very
fixed. They're a silly faction.
But freaking Voodoo Doll is so fucking good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Your aspect's gone.
Ah,
And yours too.
You can't be forced. Can't be forced. Can't be forced. Stop it!
So then you switch to a big boy faction.
Yeah, then I switched over to Protectorate. And they're a lot of fun. I'm still learning them, but I really, really enjoy that faction. I think it suits my playstyle a lot more. They have the ability to get up in the face and actually maintain taking and receiving, or giving and receiving damage.
No comment.
I guess I kind of play more of an attrition type game, which Rhett doesn't favor at all. So I like being able to attrition a little bit.
Yeah.
Legion has a real rough time with that as well. Our tar pit unit is so squishy.
What, the Legionnaires?
Compared to...
Not when Gorman's around.
Fuck you.
I like the Legionnaires. I think
Yeah, Legionnaires.
They are, but they're not... I don't consider them a true tar pit unit. Like, when you look at other tar pit units, like the Man-O-War guys with Shield Wall, or Skinwalkers, they can't stand up to those guys. Like, yes, we can get awesome armor.
Carpet unit.
They're too important to tar pit.
They're expensive
they're
for fun.
expensive tar pit.
Okay, but you're looking at, on average, especially if you run Boulder, you have more armor than my fully buffed War Beasts, and you're getting 2 attacks with Blood Drinker and Reach, and one of your
I'm not
UA
saying
with
they're not
Doctor.
good.
I was
That
doesn't
is
necessarily.
Usually when
that's a tar pit,
That doesn't necessarily mean high armor. Tar pit's just something that's hard to get rid of.
stays around forever.
and
Like
because of
Chaos
their
Assassins.
armor and their hit point pool,
Well,
that makes them
the
easily
winter
tar.
guard.
have
The
you?
Winter Guard. I'd say probably Kayazis are probably the best tar pit. One of the best.
Chaosies, yeah.
Because just defense, what, 18 in
16
combat?
They're 16
With the
in combat
16
and
in combat is just
with
absurd.
Underboss, and then if
19
you
with Iron Flesh.
Iron 19 with Iron, and you can run Mercs and get them to 17 with the Piper, or you can make them tough.
Okay.
Hey, I finally killed one. Oh, no, I didn't.
Again,
Oh, kidding.
they're proving my point here.
But I plan on picking up Convergence once they're released. They look like a really fun faction.
Convergence
They
seems
look
like a
like they're-
thinking man's faction.
Yeah.
Like it's.
They look like they're definitely going to be fun, super jack heavy
And
faction.
they are.
Counter-charging proximity
This.
mines are...
They are a giant toolbox.
Oh, that's what
Oh, look at that! Look at that! We got some visuals going
Yeah,
on
see,
today.
look at that. This is how I envision Convergence of Cirrus being. It's just a
Glare.
giant
A
Swiss
giant
Army.
glare.
See, glare? No glare. But that's how I picture Convergence of Cirrus, is you have an answer to a lot of things, which I like having answers to problems. So that will allow you to face a larger variety of opponents with one list and fare a lot better than
You should
certain
send that picture
casters.
to Matt, and he can just splice that into the video.
Yeah, I can just be like, boop boop. Yeah.
It'll allow you to face a much wider variety of opponents and still be able to fare well, which is important in this game because when you're playing in tournaments at
is
50
magic.
points, you're playing 8 different opponents.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I'm worried about with Cirrus, I think they're going to be a little light in the pants. Like,
How did you know that?
like I think that they're just. Something tells me that they're going to be low defense and a little bit lower armor. I think they're going to.
I think they're going to be low defense, high armor. You're robot people.
I don't know, but they're like how their model design is so intricate. I think it's going to be easily broken. You know what I mean?
I can
The
see
guy
that.
who actually looks like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Don't look that up on my. At least open an incognito tab.
Okay.
Meatswing.com.
Oh no.
Just put
Today's
that in too.
vidcast is sponsored by MeatSpin.com.
all your meat spinning
All these
needs.
8-year-old kids are like, oh, what's that?
Don't search that.
Yeah, don't
Other
look that up.
sponsors include LemonParty.org
Blue
Kids in a
Waffle
sandbox.
and Kids in a Sandbox
and Blue Waffles.
and Blue Waffles.
And peanut butter slap.
Just like Mother used to make blue waffles.
With cottage cheese on or cream cheese toppings.
That would actually just a waffle with cottage cheese on it would probably.
Oh,
be.
brr.
That is disgusting.
But a cream
Wow,
cheese filling.
we're fucking off topic now.
Yeah,
Moving on.
And again, I would like to
There
point
is
out I've had
some
nothing to
basic
do with this.
Yeah, it's true.
Is it humming?
So,
Is-
so
No,
let's,
that's
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 that.
that crappy light above us.
Don't you
It is. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I don't know, want to talk about some painting?
Is this one I
Do
think?
some,
Yes.
Looks
yeah.
like
Yeah, that's the one you
Yeah.
wanted.
Can't tell.
it. He got rid of the whites.
Yeah, let's talk about some painting. Okay? Matt, you
I am
kinda-
awful at painting.
But you started like, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna paint some shit. Like you got into painting.
Yeah, I got fire. Like I'm bad at it. I never liked it, but I've been on a real painting kick here recently. Until the last few days when I started playing WoW again. And now
Oh.
but yeah, I'll sit there and watch Breaking Bad and paint.
I've been watching a lot of Archer and painting.
What
Watched all.
I
What's
tried that.
was-
I'm laughing too hard to paint while Archer is
was being
playing.
kind of a quick and easy top painter? What do you think has helps you do that? Like what kind of like techniques do you have?
Well, any techniques that I have, I learned just from you.
That's true.
Stuff you taught me.
That is blinding.
We're firing
Yeah,
lasers at each other here.
God damn it. So
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
have any tips to give or anything.
Like-
Just stuff that I've learned.
I guess,
picked up
you
from
know,
you.
a quick and easy kind of thing is like dry brushing. You
Yeah.
know, just
Dry brushing technique. A lot
Yeah.
of people do it wrong.
that's true.
A,
I probably
use a
do it
cheap ass brush to start with.
Yeah.
You get them for $2 at Walmart or any sort of
Or
hobby
$4
place.
and you can get 25 of them.
Or that. And when you dry brush, you want to get until you don't see anything. I usually use my hand on it because that white paper towel. Because usually using lighter colors. I use my hand so I can
Yeah.
see if all the paint's off of it. And you don't go back and forth on it. You actually press down and you go in little circles. You get much better
You do
coverage.
the circle.
Shit, I just
Yeah.
don't like that.
Well, you get inaccuracy. You're
Well, okay. The way I look at it is that you know, I used to do like a lot of model cars and stuff when I was a kid too. And how I learned how to dry brush is if you decide to dry brush something, you always have to keep the same stroke pattern. So if you're going side to side, you have to do side to side throughout the entire thing. Because then when you look at your model, you don't see your brush strokes going all over the place. That's kind of like, you know, art class 101. You know, if you're stippling, you know, you always kind of keep the same kind of pattern.
Yeah.
And then you reverse your pattern to make it look natural. But with dry brushing, since you're dry brushing something so small, and you know this doesn't need to be dry brushed, but you kind of want to keep the same brush stroke because then it's going to look like a natural thing.
yeah.
But
so can
but
you-
that's kind of my painting though. I try to do surrealism with my painting. Matt knows that's why my paints are a lot more dull. Like I do a dull kind of paint job. That's kind of how I like it.
Yeah.
But,
that
Another thing too is a well lit work area. Your models are going to be much.
Yeah,
much
headlamps.
Yeah, I use a headlamp as well.
I have a $25 lamp that is a clamp lamp that's a circular fluorescent bulb with a magnifying
Oh,
glass
yeah.
in it.
Did you
Harbor
buy
Freight.
it? Did you buy it at Walmart?
Staples.
Harbor
Staples.
Freight for me. Same thing.
Fucking
But
expensive.
My
something to
roommate
keep.
has studio lights.
No, well there you go. But is your roommate like an artist?
Actually, yes.
There you go.
Something to keep in mind though is when you're applying your washes and bringing your highlights down is you're darkening the model in a very very well lit area. So make it brighter than you think it should be, and then take it out of the room and put it on your kitchen table and look at it. That's where you need to judge how the model looks, because in game shops you have either fluorescent track or just screw-in bulbs, and it's going to look way
And
different
in
than a
gaming halls
halogen
too.
bulb.
Like just in a gaming hall, like at a convention. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, lighting's even worse. in
Sometimes
there.
it's like you have to have like mag lights out. Like it's bad.
Yeah, so if you're washing and washing, it looks great on your painting table. You bring it out into normal, natural light, and it's dark, and you can't see detail and all that. So I always try to make it brighter than I think it should be, just for that reason.
It's good tips. What about you, Joe?
I kind of do it the lazy man's way and do mostly washes with very little dry brushing. I use kind of like a lilac with my flesh with the dry
You
brushing.
do like layer washing, right? Is that how
Kind
you
of.
do it?
It's like a base coat black, pick a random color. Like seriously, my painting has no rhyme or reason. I'm like, I've not used this color, let's use that. I mean, I have blood red and pink shredders right now. And they're metallic. So,
Metallic.
I like it. My opponents hate
all that
shredders,
matters.
so it
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah, it matters what you like.
Make your models pop on the table, and that's
Are those sandbags?
that's 3/4 of. No, it's not sandbags.
Oh, okay. They look like sandbags.
Kind of. Just.
Oh,
Yeah.
kids. Oh,
Gross.
Snooze.
today's vidcast is
Brought to you by
brought
Camel
to you by
Snooze.
Camel Snus.
It's delicious and has a minty flavor, refreshing.
When you want
For the
cancer,
record,
When
I
you
would
want
like to
mouth
point
cancer.
out when these
Camel
guys are
Snus.
sued for all of this, trying to get advertising that it's not been paid for. I don't know these people.
hey,
When I
I
was-
make no money on these, so it doesn't matter.
When I was in the army, and you're on guard duty, you falling asleep, you get your dip, and you touch it, and you poke yourself in the eye with it, and it'll wake your ass up.
What would you?
Because it burns to the It wakes
Do
you
it.
up.
Do it.
No. It's horrible. It's a horrible experience, but when you have to stay awake, you have to stay awake.
Well, what about you, Zach?
If you're doing a lot of painting, if it is possible, save up and get an airbrush.
Yes.
It is super nice, and it will also help you with like these big fucking things that kind of look crap with the paint brush strokes all over them.
I disagree.
I got my,
My Archangel
Well,
looks
you got
awesome.
that's a War Beast. The War Beast looks different because there's much more dynamic pieces on a War Beast. With my Kraken, I have a giant open plane, and it looks a lot better airbrushed.
Well, I've
than-
done my my Stormwall brush.
You just slap dead bodies on it and call it good.
I think it looks good.
It's airbrushing is a different means to the same end. It's not going to make you a better painter. It's not going to make your models
Because
look
it's
better.
It'll
different.
make it faster.
It's a much faster way of doing the same techniques, which is great. Like for example, my protector that I'm painting, I have all the robes are gray, so I just sit there, hit it black, hit it gray, it's done. I have all my shading because I sit there, I do like the dynamic lighting, so I shoot down at it, and that's all the shading I need to do on it, and it's done. Each model takes about 40 seconds.
Well,
Yeah, it dramatically saves time.
without
It's good.
detail work. Yeah.
Well, it's just the robes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, my little painting tip that I like to do is popsicle sticks. That's what I do. You take a popsicle stick. Yeah, you just hit it with a bunch of popsicles. You take a popsicle stick and you just glue your models to the popsicle stick. And what I do is I just have my popsicle stick. I'm like, and I'm gonna do all the red, and then I do all the black,
That's a good
and then I
idea.
do all the silver. And that's how I do it.
I like that.
Then I flip it around. I do all the back, and then I do 5 models at a time. And that's how I do all of my troops.
Yeah, I guess
That's
you can
really
set up
good.
like a little. You can get like a piece of a 2x4
Yeah.
and glue You can glue clothespins to it and then just stick
Yeah.
the popsicle stick down into the clothespin.
Yep.
Like the old style peg clothespins.
Yep.
Just glue them upside
I
down.
like that. I want to start doing that. I have
Yeah,
a whole
pop-
bunch of craft sticks at home.
Yeah, the popsicle stick's a good way to do it. A lot of people do the. You can do it like just if you have big old bear claws like me, you can actually just do a single one on each finger too, and just kind of hold them like this, and you can just.
I'm Wolverine.
And then, but you do look kind of silly doing that.
I would like to point out
Um,
I do none of these fancy things. I'm like, paint everywhere, and that's it.
That's another thing too is your models you don't have to be painting golden demons to
No.
play models.
No.
You paint it till you're satisfied with it. You have to hit a point where you say, okay, this is good enough, and then it's a playable
And
model.
I mean,
and it looks good.
You have other aspects too. If you have a really good painter in your meta, and if you want just a really nice warcaster, don't be afraid to get a little commission work done. I mean, that's cool, especially if you want just a really nice set piece, like So, we're gonna show off the set
Speaking of
piece.
commissions,
So,
see,
yeah,
another
I mean,
important part of painting too is
See, now you're making me
paintbrush.
show off my Archangel, which isn't even here.
Oh,
Well, that's your fault. Your paintbrush, it's very critical. It's
Keep that thing clean.
keep it very, very clean. Go to the craft store and get brush cleaner. It's lacquer based or
do you
something.
do the soap, like the painter's soap, or do you use the water? I use painter's soap.
I think it's painter soap. It's in a liquid bottle.
No, I use it's like a soap bar.
I know what you're talking about.
And-
It's the
and
same thing, but
and
it's just a
yeah.
suspension.
And it's-
Commission.
Yeah.
Commission
Extreme
job.
Gutrix. Right there.
Yeah, that camera will focus in like close. Like you can actually pick it
Focus
up. You can so focus in close.
Ooh.
There you go. Ooh.
She just got real.
Yeah, but yeah, don't be afraid to do a little commission work. If you're just not, if you just don't feel good about doing one particular thing. Even when it comes to like putting models together.
Yeah.
Like if you just don't want to put your fucking Nist Hunters together, find someone, give them $10, and be like, man, put my Nist Hunters together, and 9 times out of 10 they'll say yes.
Like, for the love of God, I love the Tariff, but seriously, that is the worst pose ever. Why did you do this to
What
us?
about all the Carnivian like dick hands? That just kind of.
No, they're worse.
Speaking of dicks, I got my frickin' Dracoon, giant dick in my Dracoon 2. This dick's every time I order a horse miniature, there's a giant dick in it. Also, looked at Lilith's models, the elks have dicks. Now we got elk dick and horse dick. Too many dicks on the dance floor.
There's too many dicks.
You know, usually I have lots to say about this, but
7
they got it covered.
7.
Back to the original topic, though.
dicks.
Paintbrushes. It's
Oh, for the love of God,
Oh, okay.
do not
Sidebar.
put the brush tips down in your little jar.
no.
My roommate does it, and I want to punch him in the throat.
Yeah, put your brushes up and go to a craft store. Buy a bunch of those little plastic tubes that are like 5 cents a piece. Stick them on your brushes.
Unless
Yeah.
they're like the crappy paint brushes you get at Walmart.
Yeah,
'cause
fuck
those
those
are like
brushes.
$5.
Actually,
you
mine
want
all
to
came with those on them.
You want to get like a Kolinsky Sable. Those are very good natural brushes. They're going to last you a good long time. They aren't going to fray at the end and split apart like your the
Nylons.
synthetic brushes will.
And when they finally do, they're a really good dry brush.
Yes, and when
Really?
they actually do fray and get split ends, they are very good for either stippling or dry brushing. It's where you poke.
It's where you poke. We were talking about splatter effects earlier because
Oh, yes. Apparently a box of paints that no one's heard of was in a giant box and said free paints. And one of the colors is called Nasty Blood. And it is both...
nasty blood.
Yes, it is the name...
Actual
This,
period blood.
along those lines, it is the exact color of fresh blood as well as the consistency. I don't know, I may be spreading actual blood on my models. Let's put it this way, I thought I cut myself a few times using it. But it makes awesome splatter.
It makes that.
We don't know.
Actually, it's right over there.
But anyway, a good way to do a splatter effect is with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Yes. And less is more with splatter effects.
Or if you've got like an old brush that's really stiff.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Add a color. Life.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously, the picture
It's
on
a
that
French company.
the picture on that looks like it's the art from Fatal.
Yeah, it kind of does. But
Like, it is the consistency of blood as well as like
Well,
the exact color.
a good blood combo if you're gonna make your own blood mix.
There you go.
I do 2 parts brown, 1 part red ink, and then add just if you want to do wet blood, add just a little bit of realistic water. I use realistic
Yes,
water
it's thick.
because then it thickens, it makes
had
it
that
congealed. Yeah, and then if you want to do dried blood. Add a crackening additive, which Vallejo also makes. Because then when you put it on there, it will naturally earth crack, and it will look like dry. Look like it's dry. It's really good. So Butcher's Axe, Getrix, something like that.
I don't feel like getting up to
Got
show
my,
off the Scythian.
My Warhogs, I got the blood.
Yeah, Warhogs.
Yeah.
We got to do that conversion. Anybody want to talk about green stuff since you finished this?
I hate it.
Green stuff is a good medium. I was a little intimidated by it first because I looked in the forums and I see this amazing stuff people are doing. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it, and it ends
let's-
up in this puddle of dicks.
Let's
So.
put that let's it's just a puddle of dicks.
Yeah, it was a person, and then it just falls apart like that.
Let's put this out here too. Don't go to Cool Mini or not. Look at their stuff. Don't go in there thinking that you're going to copy that
No,
because you're not going.
those
to.
are professional quality people who have been doing this for a long time and are extremely talented.
Go there for like. Look at their stuff and be like, I kind of like this scheme. Go there to look for schemes and pick up some techniques here and there. But don't think that your models are going to look identical to those.
No.
Because that makes you a
Makes
little
you
sad in the
realistic.
pants.
Yeah, like it's something that you want to aspire to and eventually
Yeah.
get there, but you are not going to do that on your first attempt. This is my first attempt at green stuffing, and it turned out pretty decent. I can see the mistakes I made in areas that could be improved.
Well, the
But-
fur doesn't look like sausage, and that is a good thing because a lot of people's furs looks like sausage. I was like,
Sausage.
like the sausage golem downstairs.
Sausage gum.
It's a chain thing.
It's a
hot
chain
dog.
golem, but it looks like a bunch of sausages.
Looks like it's made out of hot dogs.
So it's the sausage golem.
GW, or not GW's, Privateer Press's gray stuff is really good. It's similar to green stuff. It's not going to give you cancer. There was some sort of weird smear campaign on it where brown stuff and gray stuff give you cancer. It doesn't. I wouldn't eat it, but it's not going to give you
I
cancer.
You know what will give you nerve damage?
Drinking glazed meat.
Drinking
again?
glazed medium will give you straight nerve damage.
I think it's like pick me up in the morning.
You just drink you a shot of glazed medium, you're just like,
I could get splatter effects on the balls.
yeah.
Start out small with projects.
Yeah.
The first project actually with green stuff was I made a thing of sandbags. Middle of fortification. They're really easy. You roll it into a log and then you just press down on it with a popsicle stick so it tapers the ends down. And then you just get a toothbrush and you just touch the top of it in a random pattern so it kind of roughs it up a little bit, and you stick it on top of the next and you end up with this nice little embattlement of green stuff.
Maybe
And
we should do
it's-
some videos for that. Maybe some like how to make little sandbag trains. Or
Yeah.
My green stuff experience is, why do you hate us, Privateer Press? Please make us a plastic Angelius. It's green
yeah.
stuff holding together
You
my
know,
Angelius.
I'll agree with that.
Oh, they're
the
wings,
Angelius
man.
is yeah. Let's resculpt an Angelius.
You just like set it down, its wings fall off.
Yeah, I've seen that several times.
Yeah.
Look at it kind of awkwardly.
We have spoken, please. We will love you a long time.
You have to pin that model.
Well, mine's not pinned. It's it's held together with like a green stuff joint.
I don't have any of my stuff pinned. I probably should do my Bane Knights because their arms keep fucking falling off.
One thing that also, if you stuff keeps falling off and you haven't pinned it, is put a good thick gloss coat on it. It's a hardening agent, and it'll actually create a hard surface. Then you just put a dull coat
Are
over
you,
top
are
of
you
that.
trying to say that it makes a hard candy shell?
Yes, hard candy shell.
That again, don't drink it.
GW
Nerve damage.
The
Yeah.
GW is Ard Coat. I like the Tester's gloss coat and dull coat.
I'm
Those
an
are
army
really
painter
good.
guy.
Iron Painter is good. The only issue I have with the Iron Painter is it has a tinting in it. I like the light tinting the best because that'll give you just a tiny bit of highlights. But like with this model right here, he's extremely fragile, so I put on 4 layers of gloss coat on him just so if he accidentally falls over, it's not going to break on you.
So, you guys want to move on to stuff we're working on? What are we working on right now? Anything?
Paint that
I
circle.
just got a Dremel, and I'm planning to be magnetizing the tusks on my mammoth.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick up
Hopefully I
another
don't
heavy
get
beast
cancer.
kit. I'm gonna pick up a heavy beast kit, try and magnetize it like I've seen people do with Carnifexes, so I can be like, I want to field 2 Scythians. Boom, boom, boom.
Why do you call them Carnifexes?
Because I used to play 40k and I've seen people where they magnetize the Carnifexes so you
there's
can
a-
swap out.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Because Carnifex had a bunch of different weapon loadout.
And by different weapon loadout, you had on average 30 different weapon loadouts for a Carnifex with
Well, you
different
only had like
things.
6 different arms, but
But when you added all the biomorphs that you had to represent in the
Whoa!
What's happening?
All the women
So-
from like 20 miles just ran away. Like, well, I'm pretty sure my wife's trying to like just claw through the walls now.
I attract women, it's all good. They'll be back.
What you working on, Tom?
I am painting Gorman right now because I promised him that I would paint him first in my army because he killed, what was it? It was
The
something-
entire unit of Legionnaires and
Yeah.
the UA
How did that happen?
during like
They
feet
bricked
turn.
up,
During feet.
they bricked up with their little shield wall and he threw his acid bomb and it was just like, fuck your couch, guys. I'm Gorman DeWolf. And so then I killed 4 or 5 of them and the remainders charged him and he was just like, nah, I'm Gorman DeWolf. Fuck your couch. And so I promised Gorman that I painted him first. And so
Oh, that's sweet.
he performed amazingly well. He, by himself, took out...
Mind you, this is the same game evisceration by Enigma where I lost my 3 heavy war beasts to the fucking objective.
Yeah, the
Oh,
league.
yeah.
So
It's,
I went into it
Imaginations.
losing a Carnifex and both my Angelius.
They didn't die, but it's the one where the large base just randomly moves around and does 1 point of damage. And
Or
it'll
slams at
spray.
POW 12, which on average will deal 4 to 8 points to Legion Heavies.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, he just kept bumping his heavies away from him, and he just bumped them all into a corner the entire game. And just kept bumping them. He just kept,
Twice a turn.
Yeah.
My turn and his turn for 4 turns.
it was just this little ball that just kept going.
I
That's the worst
played.
thing ever.
Yeah.
I played it again in a 35-point game. P-Thag did the big heavy Ogryn list, wiped out almost 25 points of Ogryn because 2 turns just running into my stuff. So I will never again play that type of scenario. Privateer Breast, if you make those scenarios again, I will refuse to play in them. So you know.
Aw.
I was playing the one yesterday where small models, if you end their activation in a hill or forest, you have to roll a dice and they.
Oh, the
They
Haunted
get
Woods.
eaten.
I lost the black clad and 2 blood trackers. Fell in the damn pool. I forgot about it.
You're like, I'm gonna go hide this. Oh god!
Now the
You would think the
windstorm
circle
one.
would be able to be like, oh, I'm good with this.
Yeah, I'm not scared no holes.
The windstorm scenario is
Never
It's a
awesome.
hurricane.
That one again because we played
Yeah.
a 4-hour game.
We couldn't leave. Like we just had to move all. We were both playing a ton of infantry.
Yeah, so it was just like balled up infantry, like.
That
Now
was an awful game.
the best part was I was playing our troll guy. Shredder runs up, eats a couple of his trolls. The wind kicks up, pinballs the Shredder in to take out more of his trolls.
Yes.
What's up?
Join us.
May
next
we
round.
help
I
you?
hope you edit this part out.
No, it's okay.
No. I'm doing business stuff, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'm counting how many people here because Charlie's bringing you free pizza.
Yay!
I love Charlie. Who is Charlie?
Charlie's
The unicorn.
our
Crix
our
player.
Crix player. He's a very nice
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Oh wait, the guy
he
who
wants
brings me
pizza
eye
Hut.
candy?
No.
Oh,
No.
that's Adam.
No.
Okay.
No, Charlie
Then I've not
wants
met
to.
Charlie.
You don't see nothing yet?
Oh!
Simeon is gonna Simeon is gonna go make sweet love to Hyperion.
That's right.
So
It'll be
what are we
up on
talking
YouTube.
about?
It'll be $5.
We're talking about
Pretty
what,
funny.
what are we working on? Like, what you working on, Matt?
I'm working on a,
Yeah, isn't that like
Ravager
the
White
most
Mane
awesome
at the
blood
moment.
color?
I just put them together.
Show off to the
Ravager White Mane.
camera. He's now bleeding. No mixture. No mixing.
Oh,
I didn't even shake it.
So I am working on a conquest.
Even though you're still contracted to paint Nuala.
I am.
I could paint her for you.
Nah, it's okay.
I would offer
I need to paint
commissions.
it.
I might start offering commissions after I get all my shit painted.
Yeah,
I got
that's
so much
the
shit to paint.
So
My roommate will do stuff. It'll be metallic. Oh, hey Terry.
Get out of your way. I don't want to walk in front.
let's
Oh no,
do
how
our.
dare you have to do editing.
I know. I don't like doing editing. Boo. Okay, so let's
This week's gonna have to be edited down.
have fun,
good.
yeah, just a little bit. So let's go to our last segment, which is going to be Salt Bag of the Week, like normal. I'll start. I vote Simeon for Salt Bag of the Week. That
Yes.
let's go ahead and vote, and then we'll talk. Who was Salt Bag of the Week for you?
How?
You go with Matt.
What did I do?
Matt was
You
Salt Bag of the
complained the
Week.
entire.
Okay, hold on, save it. Salt Bag of the Week.
I was told to vote Simeon or they would beat me.
Oh,
I vote Simeon because I was there.
I'm voting for Lee, which you haven't met.
Yes.
But
Internet.
yes.
Internet.
Explain why Lee should be the Salt Bag of the Week.
because his first game at Geek Out, was he playing Chris?
He's playing Chris.
Yeah, first game. After that game, he was mad.
He was really
He was
mad.
grumpy like the
Mike
rest
should
of the
be salt
day.
bag of the week.
Mike was
He was
grumpy
last week.
yesterday.
Mike was salty.
He was
super
he was
salty.
salty.
Mike got
yesterday.
Salt Bag last week.
So he deserves it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he was pretty
Salt
salty
bag of
during
the
the game
month.
yesterday.
Salt Bag of the Month.
Salt
But
bag of the
no,
month.
I'm still going with Lee because he
was
everybody we
pretty
took
bad.
a lunch break after that and he was all mopey and wouldn't talk to anybody. It's like,
I was wondering, like, during your guys' third round, I was like, "Hey, you want to play?" he's like, no.
It's not as bad as Justin, who just disappeared for
Yeah.
4 hours.
Well, that's because he took a nap.
With a cigarette in his hand.
It's like an old woman. He's gonna.
I called Justin. I'm like, Justin, are you okay? He's like, huh? I'm like, are you okay? He's like, why am I covered in ash? I'm like, what are you, fucking Kratos or something? He's like, oh, I fell asleep in my car and I had a lit cigarette in my hand. Glad I'm not dead. Anyway,
It's a Justin thing.
let's explain why Simeon should be Salt Bag of the Week.
Oh, they dicked him pretty good.
They really kind of did.
Like he got a big old bag of dicks to the face.
And apparently not
You know,
the good kind.
No.
We
Not
show
the fun
up
kind.
we show up super early. The con has no fucking clue where we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to go. Simeon's like, where do I need to set up this table at? He's like, I don't know. I don't know where you guys need to set up your retail space. Well, Simeon's like, I'm gonna take this fucking table over here, and they're like, well, I guess you're going to then. Brr. The Deck Box, which is a local magic shop, they were just like, they didn't know where to
Fletcher.
set up either. Yeah, in Fletcher, North Carolina. They were. They didn't know where to set up either. So they're just like, you know what? We're going to go to the entryway and just set up our shit in the entrance. So that's what they did.
Yeah, and it worked out well for them. They got a lot of traffic.
Sure.
A lot of foot traffic.
Speaking of their entrance, you walk through these 4 doors, and off to the right is where you're supposed to buy your tickets and everything. But if you just walk in, you don't have to pay. So I'm sure that
the first time I walked in, I didn't know. I just walked in. Nobody said anything. I walked in.
They called me out at like 1 in the afternoon. They're like, "Do you have your wristband?" I was like, "I'm event staff," and I just.
I just looked angry and walked around and pushed things over all day. like they roped that part off, and I just walked up to the ropes and I just pushed them over, and I just walked. I just took the little thing off, and I was like all the nerds were like, I guess I shouldn't say anything to him. He looks mad. But yeah, Kobe. But here's you know what? If we had a dick bag of the week, it would be it'd be
Geek
that
Out.
con. It'd be Geek Out. They're
Being
the
a
dick
local
bags.
expert on
They
such
also
things, I
charged everyone $2 extra. Like, okay, they were like, this is a $10 entry fee. They charged everyone $12.
Yeah.
Well, I assume the reason they charged me 12 was because I did will call.
No.
Although will call usually is free. I don't understand.
No.
No,
they charged
they
everybody
charged
$12.
everybody that walked into that con an extra $2. That is bullshit. When you
Yeah, it was even advertised.
advertise $10,
It's
you
$10.
pay $10. That's bullshit. You guys are terrible people.
Not you, internet.
No, I don't know. The internet's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, Reddit.
And 4chan.
Yeah.
Especially fortunate.
I would like to point out, never been to 4chan. Everything I've heard does not lead me to believe I'll have a good time.
Anyway, Samuel's flipping
I
shit.
love you, Reddit.
He definitely Salt Bag of the Week for
You
me.
like space
Who's Salt Bag
space.
of the Week for you?
I was told to
Buddy.
say Simeon or I
Oh.
would get beaten.
Well,
I want to hear how you.
Because you complained for
That's
2 games straight
2 games.
after I beat you with Asphyxius.
Don't
you know
take
what's
this from me.
Asphyxius?
I'm a salty motherfucker like bacon. I've never been so pissed off for a 24-hour period in my life. And that's it.
And he's still pissed.
Bye.
still
Still
pissed
pissed.
off. So we might have a new segment next week, 5 minutes with Simeon, where he just sits here for 5 minutes from the camera and bitches about any subject that he feels
Oh, I
like.
would love that.
So
If you want that, put your comments below.
Put some comments down there. Yes.
Simeon grinds his gears.
Yeah.
Grinds my gears.
So
I got nothing.
So I'm gonna vote for you know what? Fuck you, Matt. I'm gonna vote for you.
No, that feed is ridiculous. Ian Sixie's feed is ridiculous, and fuck it.
Wait, what's his feet?
He brings back 10 fucking Banes or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Ghosts can't be damaged. I put Orby on him, at least he'll at least take one out. No, they can't be damaged.
It's been nerfed twice.
Shut
You know
up.
what would have been worse? Soul Hunter's up in your grill.
If he had a magical weapon, it would damage him.
No, they
no,
just
they
can't.
cannot be damaged.
Hit or damaged.
Yeah, they can't be hit or damaged.
It's because they disappear at the end of my turn.
Yeah, they're like woo.
You're like, spooky ghost,
You go
motherfucker.
spooky ghost and half your shit dies and they go away.
Alright,
It's a
that is
good
little
feat.
absurd.
They killed 22 points in models. on their V turn. Probably more. It probably killed like a stone or something else. But I always remember is they
Well,
could
you
have
did
some-
kill almost the entire unit of Bane Knights in one turn, and I was like, well, I'm gonna kill some heavies.
From now on, always bring Moshar to tournaments.
RFP.
Always.
Or you just turn to assassinate Gatsby.
I don't play Ret or Legion.
Matt, who are you voting for Salt Bag of the Week?
I'm voting for Simeon. Okay.
Vote.
Say words, motherfucker.
Use your words.
Simeon, because I was around none of these people when they went to Geek Out.
All right.
Now the goldfish really.
Oh, damn it!
Oh,
I
God
fucking
damn.
yelled at my Simeon.
Simeon.
All right.
Matt smashed goldfish on the floor.
I vote for Simeon. We can edit that last part out.
No, it's gonna stay in. All right.
That was good.
All right.
Ow! I'm actually gonna say this.
So, all right. So,
Even though I know it's
Simeon, Salt Bag of the Week.
I think I'm gonna start bringing an actual bag of salt to
Yeah, I
hand
need
winner.
to. I need to get a
Spray
photo of
paint
everybody and just Photoshop a big bag of salt behind them.
Dude, I get salt dirt cheap. I work at Eagles.
Yeah,
I can just
pour
buy
it
a
on
bag of
people's
salt.
head.
Salted!
So
Like antiquing, consulting this
Stay salted.
I think that's a wrap, guys.
Pocket salt.
Now we're just being silly. All right, so that was episode 3 of the Kill Box.
Also,
Thank
if you
you
guys
for
want,
watching.
if you want to see anything or have us talk
Yeah.
about a particular subject, give us some subject matter to talk about, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we
don't have
Bitch
shit else.
about anything.
We're a bunch of country bumpkins, and we'll give you our honest opinion.
As
Yeah.
soon as I can find the damn... We had a shit ton of photos taken at Geek Out of our tables.
Yeah, we
As
did.
soon as I can find them, I
Yeah,
will post them
seriously.
on the forums.
You're taking pictures all
You can find fucking Lee from a year ago when we played here, but you can't find any of the Geek Out ones. You can find Lee just playing some men off, looking all salty because I was pushing his shit in. but
Again, least perverted person here. Fucking weird.
But anyway, that's episode 3, guys. Oh yeah. Also, this episode, if you haven't noticed, is also going to be in a podcast form
Got looser.
too.
Yeah.
So to help all of you people out there. So thanks a bunch.
Thank
See you
you.
next time. Bye bye.
Slow clap.